Discipline is overrated. That sounds wrong, because discipline built your grades. It built your career. It built your habits. But discipline alone will not make you wealthy. And that's the trap ambitious people fall into. They believe if they wake up earlier, work harder, stay consistent, avoid distractions, wealth will eventually show up. But wealth is not a reward for effort. It's a reward for positioning. Discipline makes you consistent. Positioning makes you rich. Those are not the same thing. You can be extremely disciplined inside a system that has no upside. And that's exactly what most people are doing. They are disciplined employees, disciplined savers, disciplined gym goers, disciplined planners. But they never build leverage. Let's break this down. Discipline is internal control. Wealth is external control. Discipline controls your behavior. Wealth requires control over assets. You can wake up at 5 a.m. every day, work 12 hours, avoid all distractions, track every expense, invest carefully, and still cap your upside. Because discipline does not change structure. Ownership changes structure. The most disciplined person in the world, working inside someone else's system, is still capped by that system. That's the uncomfortable truth. Discipline without leverage creates burnout. Discipline with leverage creates scale. Ambitious people love discipline because it feels pure. You can measure it, you can brag about it, you can post about it. But the wealthy rarely talk about discipline. They talk about equity, ownership, distribution, scale, asymmetric bets. You can be disciplined for 20 years and never own a single appreciating asset. And that is the silent failure. Here's another problem. Discipline makes you good at maintaining stability. Wealth often requires instability, risk, uncertainty, reputation exposure, public mistakes. Disciplined people avoid instability. They prefer control. But control inside a fixed system does not create upside. It creates predictability. Predictability feels safe. Safe rarely builds wealth. Now here's where people misunderstand. I'm not saying discipline is useless. Discipline is necessary, but it's not sufficient. It's the engine, not the vehicle. If you attach discipline to a low-ceiling structure, you accelerate toward average. If you attach discipline to ownership, you accelerate toward scale. Most people never question the structure. They only question their effort. They say, I need to try harder. I need more consistency. I need more routine. No, you need better positioning. Let me ask you something uncomfortable. Are you disciplined, or are you disciplined inside a small container? Because if your income stops when you stop, discipline is just helping you survive, not expand. The wealthy think differently. They ask, what can I build once that pays repeatedly? Discipline is then applied to building that, not to maintaining employment. That's the pivot. Another hidden issue. Discipline can create ego. You feel superior because you're consistent. But consistency inside the wrong model is still the wrong model. You don't get wealthy for being morally strong. You get wealthy for controlling scalable assets. Discipline keeps you focused. Ownership multiplies the result. Imagine two people. Person A, extremely disciplined employee, makes pound 120K a year, saves aggressively. Person B, moderately disciplined entrepreneur, owns 30% of a scalable product. 10 years later, who has more upside? The one with leverage, not necessarily the one with stronger habits. And this is where most ambitious people get uncomfortable. Because discipline feels earned. Ownership feels uncertain. But uncertainty is where scale hides. Here's the shift. Stop worshiping discipline. Start worshiping leverage. Keep discipline, but aim it at equity. Aim it at distribution. Aim it at building something that grows without your hours. Otherwise, you'll wake up at 45, still disciplined, still respected, still stable, and still capped. And the worst part? You'll feel proud, which makes it harder to escape. If this feels slightly unsettling, good. That means you're thinking. In the next video, we're going to break down why most people misunderstand financial freedom and end up chasing the wrong number. If you're building quietly, thinking long-term, and want to understand structural wealth, subscribe. Because this channel is about positioning, not performance. Discipline often becomes a crutch. It allows people to ignore the bigger picture. They cling to the notion that hard work equates to success, yet they overlook a fundamental rule of wealth. It thrives on freedom, not merely on diligence. Think about it. How often do you hear stories of individuals who labored tirelessly, yet remained stuck in the same financial bracket? They invested their time, energy, and commitment, yet their results remained stagnant. It's a harsh reality that many refuse to acknowledge, focusing instead on the comfort of routine and the shiny allure of discipline. However, real wealth doesn't come from relentless effort within a rigid framework. It emerges from the ability to navigate uncertainty and leverage opportunities. Think about those who broke the mold, the entrepreneurs, the innovators. They didn't just work harder, they worked smarter, capitalizing on potential where others saw none. The true power lies in shifting your focus from merely doing to creating sustainable systems that thrive independently. Can you imagine the financial landscape transformed by this mindset? Discipline is often celebrated, yet its limitations are obscured by a society that equates effort with success. Many people find solace in their routines, believing that consistency will eventually lead to the wealth they desire. However, this perspective is misguided. Discipline alone does not generate wealth. The difference between those who thrive and those who merely survive hinges on their ability to seek leverage, to build and own assets that generate income. Imagine waking up not just to work harder, but to invest in opportunities that blossom over time, creating a legacy rather than maintaining a paycheck. It's not just about the daily grind, but about establishing frameworks that operate independently of one's immediate efforts. We often cling to the belief that success is measured by hours put in, yet the true narrative of wealth is written by those who dare to defy the conventional paths. Consider the entrepreneurs who embrace risk, who venture into the unknown with a vision that sparks innovation. They don't just multiply their hours. They multiply their possibilities by leveraging their investments and resources. Think of the creators who design products that operate even when they aren't actively working. They understand that wealth is cultivated in the fertile ground of ownership, where the potential for growth is unlimited. As they build systems that sustain themselves, they set themselves on a course toward financial independence, transforming the way